Hello, hello. So here it goes for this Saturday's webinar. We are today, oh, sorry about my hands there. I got a little cold recently. So I'll try to be careful with my voice and with my gestures. So today we're going to go over a number of activities we've added on the website. It covers a few requests and a little inspiration we had ourselves on our own. It's already the 21st of December now, so next week is Christmas. We're going to have on the 25th of December. I invited you all. We're going to have a special just for our little community. We'll have a little Christmas webinar. I won't go over too many activities, don't worry. I won't bother you too much with our new activities, things like that. The whole idea of our Christmas webinar is more to, well, to share good wishes, to give each other well wishes before, before the new year starts. So we'll mainly talk about projects in general, what we're doing, where we're going, and we'll have a good time sharing Christmas wishes and New Year wishes. So that's for this Wednesday's webinar. Today's webinar, what are we doing at today's webinar? There are a number of new speaking activities that I want to show you. A lot of new speaking activities. There are also, as I said, it's Christmas week. There are also, there we go. So I'm going to show you a good number of Christmas theme activities. Most of them you'll see are our classic research education activities to automate, to build reflexes, and others to test and develop fluency. So these are kind of classic research education activities, but Christmas themed, so that you can use these during the Christmas week with your students, and it distracts them a little bit from what they're doing. So let's start with the short answer races. You know how short answer races work. We've got 3 new short answer races that are Christmas themed. So this one is very simple. It's focusing on present simple. Short answer races are P2s. They're that second practice stage when we've gone beyond checking understanding. We're automating, we're building those reflexes. So what we always want to do with these cards is you cut them up, put them in a little stack, and students in pairs are going to race one after the other. It is always very, very important to follow the procedure. We do it once, slowly first. Why? So that the brain of the student feels confident. The student needs to feel, okay, I can do this. This is not difficult. Because then we're going to stress the brain to build reflexes. So we want to build accuracy with fluency. We want to build reflexes that are accurate. To do so, the brain needs to be in a safe mode, needs to feel comfortable. So we do it once, slowly. Does Santa come every year? Yes, he does. Does Rudolph like Santa? Yeah, he does. Does your friend like Christmas? No, my friend doesn't. No, he doesn't. Do you like Santa? Yes, I do. Do reindeers help? Do reindeers help Santa? Yes, they do. Do the elves make toys? Yes, they do. Does Rudolph make toys? No, he doesn't. Do your neighbors give you toys? No, they don't. Does Santa help the elves? No, he doesn't. Do the elves come with Santa? No, they don't. Does Santa give toys? Yes, he does. Do you like Christmas? Yes, I do. Okay, so I've done it once. I've done it first time shortly. I feel, even if I made a mistake or two, this is the the time where we can reflect on that and we can correct that and we can focus and realize that, okay, Antoine, I can do this. I've done it once slowly. All right. And then take out the timer. All right. Let's see how fast I can do this. So we did it first time slowly. Now we're doing it second time. Time yourself. Okay. Ready, steady, go. Does Santa come every year? Yes, he does. Do you like Santa? Yes, I do. Does Rudolph make toys? No, he doesn't. Do the elves come with Santa? No, they don't. Does Santa give toys? Yes, he does. Do your neighbors give you toys? No, they don't. Do reindeers help Santa? Yes, they do. Does Rudolph like Santa? Yes, he does. Does your friend like Christmas? No, he doesn't. Do the elves make toys? Yes, they do. Does Santa help the elves? Yes. No, he doesn't. Do you like Christmas? Yes, I do. 2582. Okay, start slowly, time yourself, and then what you want to do now is challenge yourself. So there are 3 stages. Okay, 2582. I think I can do this. I think I have big room for progress. 25 seconds 82. I think I can do this in 17 seconds. Okay, I'll reset and we'll start again. I'm starting from different corners to show you how shuffling works, because these cards should be shuffled. So, I've started slow, I've done it once slowly, I've timed myself, now I'm going to challenge myself to do it in less than 17 seconds. Ready, steady, go. Does your friend like Christmas? No, he doesn't. Do the elves make toys? Yes, they do. Does Santa help the elves? No, he doesn't. Do you like Christmas? Yes, I do. Does Santa give toys? Yes, he does. Do the elves come with Santa? No, they don't. Does Rudolph make toys? No, he doesn't. Do your neighbors give you toys? No, they don't. Do reindeers help Santa? Yes, they do. Do you like Santa? Yes, I do. Does Santa come every year? Yes, he does. Does Rudolph like Santa? Yes, he does. 19 seconds 45. Oh, yes. Now you'll see that I won't successfully get to my challenge the first time. Actually, if I do, it's not really a challenge. So at first you might think that by you don't want to scare your students, you don't want to scare them too much. You think, okay, I'll give them challenges that are not too difficult. But actually what you're doing is, by making it too easy, you're not giving the students the drive to succeed, and that's what pushes the brain to build reflexes. They shouldn't be able to reach their challenge the first time. That's a good challenge. I give my students 3 attempts to reach their challenge in class, and then we move on. And they can continue for homework or the next lesson. It's enough. So I went from 25 seconds 82 to 19 seconds 45, something like that. So there you have it. That's a short answer race we made for Present Simple, Christmas themed. Again, it's just for this Christmas week, for you to be able to actually do some effective work with the students and yet distract them with the Christmas. So we have Present Simple, we have to be in present. Is Santa old? Is Santa fat? Are the elves small? Are the elves green? Am I Santa? Are you Santa? Is the teacher Santa? Are the reindeer happy? Is Christmas merry? Am I an elf? Is the teacher an elf? Are the reindeer blue? To be in present, Christmas themed. And of course, 1 going to, short answer race. There you go. Are you going to get a present? Is Santa going to bring Christmas presents? Is Santa going to come? Are you going to decorate my Christmas tree? Are you going to decorate my Christmas tree? Is Santa going to make a snow angel? Am I going to make a snow angel? Am I going to decorate your Christmas tree? Are we going to sing songs? Am I going to see Santa? Are we going to see Santa? Are you going to see Santa? Is Christmas going to be merry? And are you going to make a snow angel? 3 simple short answer races, all Christmas themed. And we have also added, where is it? There it is, a card flip. So a card flip, we also call it tense build sometimes. This is very, very simple. A card flip or a tense build is a group of 3 stacks of cards. You've got verbs like give a present, fly a sleigh, go down a chimney, be merry, decorate the Christmas tree, make a snowman, make a snow angel, light the fireplace, decorate a tree, help Santa, make toys, and eat candy canes. You have a group of verbs, a group of nouns that are basically going to be our subjects. Santa, you, I, the elves, Rudolph, the Grinch, the teacher, parents, kids, we, everyone, the president. And 3, verbs, subjects, time phrases. Now, right now, at the moment, every winter, every year, every Monday, last winter, last year, last week, next month, next winter, next year. So here, basically, you have a card flip for, you've got present simple, present continuous, past simple, and future tenses. You can use these cards in so many different ways. The students can unflip them and make the sentences. They can make it negative. They can make it a question. There are really loads and loads of different ways of using these card flip, these tense builds. You have, again, a procedure. Time them, record the time, set a goal, and then repeat to achieve that goal. You've also got a countdown way of doing it. You give the students a time limit, like 60 seconds, and students say as many sentences as they can during that time limit. And again, you record, you set a goal, and you repeat until you achieve that challenge. So there you have it. 4 Christmas theme P2s, 3 short answer races, 1 card flip, 1 tense build. You thought that would be it, right? Absolutely not. We've added a few fluency as well. A few fluency. We've added a few fluency activities as well, Christmas themed, to have a fun week. So we have 3 things: building dexterity, convince, and reasonable disagreement. Building dexterity. So the instructions here, we've directly put a link to a YouTube video where Tom and I explain how to use building dexterity, because building dexterity is a collection of cards with themed vocabulary on them. But there are really loads and loads of different activities you can do. As simple as word associations. You start with students make 3 word association per card, and then they move on to the next card. To dialogues, the students have cards. So I have 4 cards, you have 4 cards, and we need to have a conversation. And the first student to be able to use each card in a conversation closes the conversation, for example. You can do monologues where for each card, the student has to transition to a different part of the monologue. You can do driving the conversation. Driving the conversation is like the dialogue at the beginning, except the cards are secret. So I don't know which cards you have, you don't know which cards I have. And so in this case, the dialogue is more natural because I don't know where you want to take the conversation and you don't know where I want to take the conversation. And we still need to use our cards as quickly as possible. So this is building dexterity. It's not the first building dexterity you see. Oh, I forgot to show you the cards. This building dexterity, all building dexterity activities are really powerful to not only to develop fluency in your students, but basically dexterity is flexibility of the mind, how quickly we can find different topics, different associations. Quite typically, I found this answers the need of students who tell you they don't really know what to say at speaking activities or small talk especially. And you notice that it's kind of the same thing in their L1 as well. So some students just don't have a lot of things to say, and building dexterity will help them find what to say. Convince? I forgot to show you the card again, the cards. So there you have it, a bunch of Christmas-themed vocabulary for building dexterity. Santa, stories, elves, mistletoe, carols, toys, Christmas tree, reindeer, Rudolph, stockings, fireplace, chimney, candy cane, sleigh, wreath, gift or present, snowman, snow angel. So you can use these cards in a lot of different ways to build dexterity. Next, convince. I think you know convince is one of our all-time favorites. This is a big classic resource education type activity. Convince is loads of fun. This can be used at all different levels. All these convince cards are going to be Christmas themed. So here you have the instructions again. It's basically, again, a card race, a card style activity. On each card, there's something that you want to convince the other student to say, think, or do. There's only one rule. Student B must always answer no initially. Now, initially is very important. It doesn't mean that student B cannot agree to different things during the conversation, but initially, at the beginning, student B should say no, or else there's no conversation. This is a very simple rule to ensure there's a conversation. So what we're going to do is student A is going to take a card, read it to student B, and student B is going to react by saying no. And then A is going to try to convince, and B is either going to be convinced, going to be angry, going to not understand, anything we like. So let me give you an example. Make me a present right now. But no, Antoine, what are you talking about? Make you a present right now? I'm in the middle of a webinar. Yeah, but actually I'm the one giving the webinar, so it would be nice to kind of give me a present, right? Well, yeah, Antoine. All right, let's say you might deserve a present. We'll see at the end of the webinar. It depends on the webinar. And there you have it. The conversation is closed. The elves are prisoners of Santa. Let's free them. Let's all wish the teacher a Merry Christmas. It's a very funny card. You'll see how the students react, because your students like the teacher. It's absolutely natural. It's absolutely normal. So when they have to convince each other to wish you a Merry Christmas, and one of them has to say no, they have very, very funny little conversations. Help me break all the candy canes you see. I like that one. That's basically asking our students to ruin Christmas. And let's make a snowman that looks like the teacher. That's going to be fun. So 6 new convince cards, all Christmas themed. Are there any questions, comments so far? Yes, you see, I got a little sick and it feels now that I'm just rushing through the webinar without giving you a second to... Everything clear? No questions for now? last for today of Christmas themed activities, reasonable disagreement, Christmas theme. So actually, I need more water, so I'm going to give you a second to think whether you have a question or not. I'm already back. So if there's still no more questions or comments on the activities, let me show you the last reasonable disagreement one. The last fluency one, Christmas themed one for today. Reasonable disagreement is, I was going to say, lots of fun again and very useful. It is. I just have the impression I'm always saying that about our activities. Let me be clear. Reasonable disagreement is a great fluency type activity to get students into debating, into argumenting, into defending their opinion, things like that. Why? Well, because it's all in the title. We're gonna have a disagreement. Students are going to be put in a situation right now where they're going to disagree on something, and they're going to have to convince each other that they're right. So here's the procedure. Students need to be able to see the answer chart. I'm going to show you that here. It's in the materials. You'll see that there are 2 pages. There's a questions chart and there's an answer chart. So the students, you need an answer chart for each student. In pairs or small groups, students roll a die, and the die is going to give them a number. That number gives them their answer. Based on that roll, they have an item from the chart. Let me open it right now. There you go. There you have the answer chart. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do we have here? 1, we have some kind of household chore robot, or maybe a robot butler. 2, we have a camel. 3, a big flat screen TV. 4, some candles, maybe aromatic candles. 5, bread. 6, a yacht, a ship. So if I roll a die, 5. My answer is bread. You roll a die, 2. Your answer is camel. So without even giving the students the question, they already have an answer. And this is only when, 4, you write a question on the board or announce it to the class, and in their pairs or groups, students argue about what is the best answer to the question, given the questions that they've already, given the answers that they've already selected. So let's have a look at the questions. Remember, my answer is bread, your answer is camel. Question number 1, what is the best Christmas present for a child? Ta-da! And we have to argue together. You're going to argue, you're going to state that a camel is a much better present for a child, probably because it's an animal. So I think a lot of child psychiatrists agree that a pet is very good for a child. It's very good for its development. The child is going to be, I think, more mature faster, or is going to develop a sense of responsibility. And I'm going to agree with you. Yes, you're absolutely right. A pet is very good. Then again, what good is a pet without any food? I mean, and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to talk about bread, talk about the fact that bread gives you energy, gives you substance, and without that, the camel and the child are going to die anyways, blah, 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 blah. The most important here is the whole process. So as you can see, all the questions here are Christmas themed, basically. What is the best way to wake up on Christmas? What is the best Christmas present for Santa themselves? What do the elves dream of after Christmas? Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, your answer, 3. My answer, I roll a die, 1. What do the elves dream of after Christmas? A robot, that's my answer, and you 3, free flat screen TV. Well, you're going to argue, of course, that after making, can you imagine there are 8 billion human beings on Earth, Antoine? 8 billion human beings, I don't know how many kids that is, let's count 25%, I'm guessing. So that's 2 billion human, that's 2 billion kids, that's 2 billion presents to make. The elves are exhausted after Christmas. They all lie down in front of their huge flat screen TV and they just watch TV shows all year long. Fair enough, fair enough. But the first thing they do, no, the first thing, but yeah, but you see, the first thing they dream of after Christmas is actually not their TV. You think they dream of it because that's what they use, but actually what they're dreaming of is their own robot to make the toys for them. Blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of fun. Reasonable disagreement is loads and loads of fun. We're going to add a lot of these in the coming future. As I said, they're a great way. You can use it at different stages of the lesson. It's a really good warmer. If you want to start a lesson, if you want to wake up your students, you can use it as a warmer. You can easily use it as a P3 in your lesson. You know, if you taught something, then you did your P1 to check understanding, your P2 to automate, and then your P3. This can be your P3. It can also be at the very end of your lesson as a kind of contingency activity. So there you have it, reasonable disagreement, Christmas themed. Any questions, comments on reasonable disagreement? I highly recommend it. You'll see your students are going to, again, they're going to be more and more comfortable with speaking English. They're going to develop their fluency really, really fast. And what I love with reasonable disagreement is it's a perfect opportunity to push your students to focus on their argumentation techniques. You can focus on the specific vocabulary or functional language you're trying to get them to automate at the moment. Firstly, secondly, finally, yes, but on the other hand, or those words of contrast, for example, although, nevertheless, cause and effect, things like that. Exactly, exactly. Students give their reasons. It's really an argumentation style. Which answers do we not have? 4 and 6. It's not a persuasion activity, especially because we both have an answer. So you can organize this as debates, for example. You can put students in groups of 3, and one is the judge. So student A and student B give their reasons to defend their answer, and the judge rules in favor of the best arguments. It depends what you want to focus on. You can use this as similar to a convince activity, basically, as you said, where they try to persuade each other. This is a simple fluency activity. Or you can focus on argumentation, vocabulary, functional language, even procedure. When students are preparing for their end of school year exams, like baccalaureate in France, we have the YEGE in Russia, they have, a lot of these exams have a debate section, and students are going to have to be able to do that. As a last example, look, we didn't use the answers 4 and 6. So 6 is your answer, 4 will be my answer. Six, what is the best Christmas present for the teacher? Well, that would be, okay, we don't know a teacher, we don't know, What is the best Christmas present for Santa? Let's go with what is the best way to start Christmas Day? So, student who has card 4, the candles, could start an argumentation on the fact that, well, Christmas Day is a family cozy day. Christmas Day is all about the fireplace, is all about being all together at dinner and lunch and breakfast the whole day, enjoying presents and the smell of the fireplace. So what best way is there really to start Christmas Day than to wake up to the smell of candles and your family already preparing Christmas breakfast, for instance? Blah, blah, blah. Student 6 would then, so student 4 does their whole argumentation in favor of candles, and then student 6 does their whole argumentation in favor of starting Christmas Day on a yacht, because, you know, Christmas Day is always about winter, about snow, about this and that. What is the best way to start Christmas Day than being on a yacht in the Caribbean islands or something like that? I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along. You get the idea? It's really just a matter of either we're having a dialogue and we can debate, so 4 and 6 answer each other, or we have debate style where student 4 does a big speech about candles and student 6 does a big speech about yachts. And by the way, you can always use this for homework as well. I think you noticed, look, there's 6 questions. Honestly, one question is easily going to take, if it's in debate style, one question is easily going to take 10 minutes of the lesson. I usually keep questions 5 and 6 as contingency for written homework. So students can take this and answer questions 5 and 6 at home as an essay, basically. No more questions or comments on reasonable disagreement, right? So I want to get back to a few new speaking activities we've published. For homework, that's the fun part. For homework, when you give reasonable disagreement for homework, you can give them all the freedom that you want. I find it depends on students. Sometimes students I forget again who said this. Was someone did point out that if you sometimes need to put a little limit on a setting for creativity to really thrive. And I found that if you just give the question, there are a lot of students that will I have a lot of students who basically come in, they say they didn't do their homework, but I know it's because they couldn't think of something to do, to answer, because when I start giving my students answers, it actually helped them. I noticed that more students did the homework. Exactly. Give them ready-made list. So basically, I give them a reasonable disagreement, but I tell them to follow the same answers. Just here, at least they have 6 answers to choose from. So, enough of Christmas. Christmas will come, but we've still got a lot of things to do. We've put up a large number of new speaking activities, and we're going to continue doing so. Let me show you a few. So you see, the first line even, all modals of obligation. Modals of obligation, one is even lower level, A2, B1, and we put it as advice as well, because at A2 level, sometimes textbooks give our students a sneak peek into giving advice without going into too many details on the modals of obligation. And so here we're going to have a little bit of fun with life coaching. That's right. Life coaching is good fun. So in this activity, students have the opportunity to use have to, don't have to, and you can expand to different modals of obligation. That really depends on the modals of obligation you are going to teach in your lesson. I think we've all noticed that depending on the publisher, textbooks will give us different modals of obligation at different levels. So we try to keep our activities as open and as flexible as possible so you can adapt them to whatever is in the lessons. So here's the context. One student is a life coach. His or her client is unhappy and in need of prescriptive advice. The life coach should be, forceful, okay, as the problems of the client are quite serious. It's not about being a good idea, should. It's about the changes that person has to make. And you'll see that life coaches are very much like that. There's not so much should, but you have to, because that's how much basically a life coach should really believe in their thing. So here's the procedure. First, students make the questions. There's going to be a questions sheet. That's a kind of P1. Students are just making questions. Check the questions as a class. Student A is a life coach. Student B is a client. Student B takes a client card and reads it. So it's important to know what kind of client we're dealing with. A asks B the questions, and B answers based on the information on the client card. Finally, A responds with advice for B, telling him what he or her has to do to improve his or her life. And then you switch for another card. So look at the questions. There we have it. Why are you unhappy? What do you eat every day? How long do you usually work? What did you do yesterday? How often do you relax? And let's have a look at the client cards. So there you have client cards. Client A, you aren't happy with your, sorry. You aren't happy with your life and you want to change. Here are some facts about you. Daily diet, chocolate 5 kilos, milk 20 liters. That must be like a hot chocolate dreamland. 3 apples, that's pretty good. Free time, watching movies online. Work, window washer, family, 6 kids. Client B, you aren't happy with your life and you want to change. Here's some facts about you. Daily diet, chicken, 2 kilos, water, 5 liters, vegetables. No fruit whatsoever. Free time, exercising, that's pretty good. Work, you're a lawyer. Family, 0 kids, and you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So you see, all these cards give the students the opportunity to answer the questions differently. How long do you usually work? The lawyer is going to answer one way, the window washer a different way. So this would be a good speaking activity for students to practice modals of obligation at a lower level, A2, B1. Then we added 2 more speaking activities for modal of obligation. They're really, really good fun. You've got uncomfortable teacher and landlord requests. So uncomfortable teacher. The teacher has to have a conversation with a student or students whose behavior is unacceptable. Here's the procedure. Student A is a teacher, student B is a student. If you have more than one student in a group, make all but one student students. In this role play, it's not a problem. So you have student A teacher and student B, C, D students. A takes 2 or 3 problem cards. A talks to B about each of the problems on the cards, and B tries to defend his or her behavior. A clarifies the rules and potentially threatens punishment. And there you have it. Students from another country visited your school last week, and your school tried to hug them. Completely inappropriate. Your student painted his or her face like a cat at the last school assembly. Teenagers. Your student won't stop talking about his or her new lizard. It's creeping out all the other kids. Your student takes a kilo of sugar from the cafeteria every week. Either it's a specific diet or there's some kind of side business there. Your student wrote, "I love English" on the door to your room. And now everybody makes fun of me. Oh. Your student orders pizza for the class every Friday, which is lovely. Really, it's very nice. It's very kind of you. But again, the rules, the rules, the rules. So it's really good fun. Students really get into it, especially actually tweens, teens. They love playing the role of the teacher. But here you have it. Again, it's modals of obligation. It's a great speaking activity, just a bit higher level. And same thing, this is more, I would do it more for adults, although teens have lots of fun with this as well. Landlord requests, very similar. Student A plays a landlord, landlady. Student B plays a tenant. Each has a request for the other, and they have to talk it out. So you see, student A is landlord, landlady. Student B is the tenant. A takes 1 landlord request card. B takes 1 tenant request card. Students discuss their problems and attempt to compromise about what changes will be made in the apartment. Let's have a look at the cards. Landlord requests: clean the bathroom, take the trash out more often, repaint the walls, stop being so loud, pay rent for last month. You want to film a cooking show in the kitchen of this place. So you see, these requests are really different level. They're let's say they're very differently themed. There's something about cleaning, some about money, some about behavior, and actually a request to come and film something else. Tenant requests: buy a new microwave, fix the toilet, you want to buy a cat, talk to the loud neighbors, pay for the broken window. You want to have band practice at your place. Same thing, very differently themed, these requests. Students have loads of fun with this. Yes, teens, adults, they're going to love this. Tweens, teens, play the teacher, the uncomfortable teacher. Any questions on these? Modals of obligation? All clear? All right, let's move on to comparatives. We've got about 15 minutes left because we've added also a lot of, there were a lot of requests from teachers for more comparative and superlative activities. Let me show you Marketplace. So the activity gives the students a situation in which they should use comparatives and superlatives. The situation: students are in a marketplace bazaar and several different merchants are trying to sell one customer the same product. They compete over price and quality to get the customer's business. So this is, I can't say lots of fun forever, can I? No, this is getting ridiculous. This is lots of fun, lots of fun, lots of fun. Students really enjoy themselves doing this activity. You see already that you're going to need 3 students here because one student is going to be the client walking through a marketplace, a bazaar, and you need at least 2 different merchants to fight over the customer. So you need 3 students minimum. How's it going to work? Here's the procedure. Put the students into groups of 3 or more. Student A is the customer, and he or she rolls a die to determine what they're interested in buying. The what to buy chart can be cut into cards. You can also use, so you can use one chart and roll a die, for example, or you can cut out the chart into little cards and they just pick a card randomly. But it's important to select what the person is interested in buying. A suitcase, a raincoat, a hat, cheese, a bear, and some skates. So first, student rolls a die, 5. You rolled 5. Antoine, you're going through the marketplace, the bazaar, and you're interested in buying a bear. All right. The other students, the sellers in the group, take picture cards, 1 each, for the item that I want to purchase. Do you remember? I want to buy a bear. So 2 of you, 2 students, one will have this panda bear and one will have this bear. And you're both going to come and speak to me. And we can do this in like one after the other, or we can do this more in a proper kind of bizarre atmosphere where you're both at the same time trying to convince me that your bear is better. Antoine, come on, you don't want to buy that brown bear. Brown bears are actually dangerous. They can get mad and everything. Take my panda bear. Panda bears are really, they're absolutely safe. They're so lazy and so slow. They couldn't even hurt a 5-year-old. Blah 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 blah. So you both debate and everything. Yes, but Antoine, come on, a panda bear, it's the most boring bear in the world. You're not going to be able to do anything with it. It's just going to sit in your yard and eat bamboo and sleep all day long. Get my brown bear, go on adventures, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and you see that the pictures, there are 2 pictures for each item 2 suitcases, 2 raincoats, 2 hats, 2 skates, 2 bears, 2 cheese. So marketplace is very simple. Roll a die to determine what the person is interested in buying. Students B and C get 2 cards of 2 different kinds of those items, and B and C try to persuade student A to buy their item, because A is going to only buy 1, not 2. Any questions, comments on marketplace? Those are 2 different ways of doing marketplace, basically. The merchants can see each other's cards or not. I prefer, again, it's about creativity. I prefer doing this activity where each merchant sees each other's cards because, well, we're at a marketplace, so you can see each other's shops and everything. It's easier, and that way, again, it puts direction on creativity because students can try to convince, they can play very good sellers in 2 different ways. Either they can try to sell their product, or they can try to convince you that the other product is not as good as theirs. So I prefer it when the students can see each other's cards. Sorry. So quickly to finish, I want to show you 2 more activities. We've got the advertising agency. Here again, students are going to be using a lot of comparatives and superlatives. So, advertising agency. Students are going to work together to make their own commercial for various products. It's good fun. This can actually, it's a production activity. It can also be turned into a project. So here's the procedure. First, you put the students into pairs of small groups. You can make the activity a bit more interactive by having the students come up with a name for their advertising agency. Each group gets a product card that describes what they're supposed to advertise. There we go. These are the product cards. So you got headphones, a car, a chair, bread. Second time bread comes up today. Shoes and a cocktail. Students then brainstorm ways to describe the assigned products. These descriptions should be good and bad. The bad descriptions will be used for their competitors, basically. And the bad descriptions can be bad. Basically, yes. They're going to first brainstorm good and bad things about their products, because the bad things can be used to undermine the competitors. So here's a brainstorm sheet, basically. What is the name of your advertising agency? What is the name of your product? What are your who are your competitors? Why is your product better? Why is it the best? How are your competitors worse? And think of a slogan for your product. I really like these little brainstorm sheets. It makes the students feel very professional about it. And you'll see that you can play this advertising agency even with tweens. They get all serious about it once they get this brainstorm sheet, the name of their advertising agency and everything. They'll have loads of fun with this. Students finally report their ideas to the class. So it can be done in a small presentation style. You can expand that to students actually acting out their little ad. The presentation can go in different ways. It could be a description of what it will look like. It can be reading through the brainstorm sheet. It can be acting out the actual advertisement. It's really loads of fun, and tweens, teens, and adults will all get into it. This is the advertising agency for comparatives and superlatives. And so we already have another marketplace here for lower levels. Remember, we had B1, B2 here. Here we have a marketplace for A2, B1. The last thing I'm going to show you today is this mascot. Again, comparative and superlative. So we've added loads of these this week. So this is going to be a very simple little debate in which, well, comparatives and superlatives are useful because students are going to have to pick a mascot. Let's make it as simple as that. They live in a town that is getting a new professional sports team. So you can choose a sport yourself, just based on what your students like. Again, flexibility is one of teachers' best friends for sure. So we didn't want to limit the creativity here. So we didn't impose a sport. You choose the sport yourself. There's a new professional sports team coming to town, and we need a mascot. We need a mascot. So the procedure is you put the class into small groups, you describe the context of the new professional sports team, and each student is going to get one mascot card. This is the mascot that they want. Students in their groups or in pairs are going to argue over which mascot will be best for the team. Loads of comparatives and superlatives are going to come up. And in the end, you can have a little mascot vote. Here are the possible mascots. Bear, elephant, tyrannosaurus, some kind of alien or monster, monkey, panda, unicorn, whale, and wolf. There's something you can do to make it more formal if you have students that like that, or if you want to put it more in a kind of exam preparation format or things like that, preparing for any kind of presentation with your students. So you put the class into small groups. Each group has one mascot card. The group works together to come up with arguments as to why their mascot is the best. Each group does a presentation of their mascot in front of the class. And then the class has a general debate, and the class votes on which mascot wins. Any questions or comments on these activities? Everything was clear? To summarize, we have new this week, we have loads of Christmas themed activities. So we have 3 short answer races and a card flip, all Christmas themed, to automate, to build reflexes with our students this week, but distracting them with Christmas. And we also have I pressed on reset instead of search. Boom. And we also have three P3 style Christmas theme activities. So we have building dexterity, we have a convince, Christmas theme convince that I find lots of fun, and a reasonable disagreement Christmas theme. What else do we have new this week? We have 3 new speaking activities for modals of obligation. So start slow, A2, B1. We start with life coach and higher level, uncomfortable teacher and landlord requests, and plenty of new speaking activities for comparatives and superlatives. We have the advertising agency, the marketplace. Marketplace is B1, B2. We also have a marketplace for A2, B1. And we have nice little mascot debate for B1, B2. Perfect. All right, then I wish you a great week. Well, first, a very nice weekend. Do enjoy the weekend. We still have a nice little Saturday evening and a nice, long, peaceful Sunday to enjoy. And then it's Christmas week. So as I said, and you should have received it by email. If you haven't, just send me an email or write me on social networks. We'll have on Christmas is Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. On Wednesday, we'll have a short Christmas webinar, okay? Tom and I wanted to send out cards. It's what we usually do. We usually send out Christmas and New Year cards. But I thought all over Russia and Europe, it's just going to take too long, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to gather everybody's addresses in time. So that's when we figured with Tom we'd have a Christmas webinar. It's a perfect opportunity to you can just come in for 5-10 minutes and just say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. All right? Perfect. Have a great weekend too then. Bye-bye, everyone. Talk to you on Wednesday.